3, 2.
Hey there, PD2 Finger with the review for the Evic VT. It's brought to us by Smokenmist. I did put a link in the description, so check it out. The Evic VT is an all-in-one temperature control mod. It comes with the atomizer, and they throw in a couple of temperature control coils to boot. Runs for $79 from Smokenmist. Comes with the USB charger. It's got the USB cable. One thing I really like about this mod, the charging port is on the side, not on the bottom. I had the Smoke M80 and that failed after charging it maybe 3 times, plugging that charger in, and it failed on me. So that was kind of a huge bummer. Now, the temperature control idea is this. You set at what temperature that you want to vape your e-liquid at, and no matter what's going on with the battery, the coil, the e-liquid, the humidity, any factor, it will consistently vape at that temperature, which eliminates the possibility of a dry hit or a burnt hit, which is awesome. Now, the unit comes packed full of features. This is a state-of-the-art, highly anticipated device by a company called Joytech. Joytech's been around forever. They're a well-respected, really high-quality manufacturer. It comes in a variety of 3 different layouts. They have the wonderful automotive style finish with these racing stripes. This is the white. They have a yellow with an orange stripe and then a black with a red. And the atomizer is like matching. Like this is like a pearl white iridescent finish. It's just beautiful, and it almost feels rubberized. And the atomizer is matching. That's pearl white on there too. Now, it does come with this really nice thick silicone case, which I found excellent, because that's the first thing I do is look at where I can purchase. You know, you have to get those separately usually, and this came with it, which is very, very cool. Now, at first glance, there's more to this than your typical, you know, everyday, like the old style of mod, and that's simply because of the temperature control features. But actually, the way that they've laid it out is very intuitive and very easy to get used to what's going on, and you find it to be, it's actually very painless, especially because there's the fire button, and then they have this right or left little swivel guy up here. All of the adjustments can be made like that. I don't know if you remember a lot of the old ones, you'd have to like grab it with both hands and hold these buttons, hold 2 down at once and all this, like, and it just goes to show how spoiled we get, because like things change. I mean, you know, they come out with something and it's an improvement, and then you realize, well, that wasn't so swift how they were doing it before. And that seems to be the case with this device. Really does well all the way around. It has an air adjustment here on the base of the unit. That's just so much better than like what's on the Nautilus. I find it works really well, and it's easy to adjust. Same basic design. The atomizer unscrews, you unscrew it, put the e-liquid in the side. The coil replaces the same way. There's 2 different coils. There is the 0.2 ohm nickel, and then there's the 0.4 ohm titanium. And when you switch that up, it knows. It's like, hey, is that a new atomizer by chance? And you're like, yeah. Or if it's no, you click over to the left. So it does, if the atomizer resistance changes quite a bit, more than a few points, it will ask you that. But typically, taking the atomizer off to refill the e-liquid, it doesn't ask. I found that when you add a new coil, if it drifts a little bit because you're breaking the coil in, it may. And I also found, like this coil here, it was rated as a 0.50. It's coming up 0.37. So there may be some give and take as far as what these coils actually ohm out as. Taking a further look at the unit, the first thing we see is the temperature, and that's what we're going to be vaping at. And you go ahead and adjust that with this adjuster here. It goes from 200 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. It also has a Celsius mode for our friends south of the border. Now, next thing we... So lame. Next thing we have is the wattage, and there is a variable wattage mode, which I do need to state, the unit is a temperature control unit. The coils, this atomizer, temperature control. Now if you're going to go and grab something that isn't temperature control, we're not going to want to use that mode. You go ahead and switch over by going into the menu. You hit the button 3 times, go into the menu, and then you can activate what you're wanting to change by either going right or left. So there's a little bit of learning curve with that, but trust me, there's nothing to it. It's very intuitive the way this is laid out. So we have our temperature, which right now I have it set at 520, 540. I'm adjusting it as I go. Fahrenheit. Below that is the variable wattage, or the wattage is listed. Right now I'm running it at 60 watts, and below that number we have the resistance of the atomizer in ohms. So this says 0.37 ohms. I'm running the titanium coil. Underneath that, that's where it gets goofy. You can either set that to, right now I have it on the battery level, so it tells me as the batteries, and this is an OLED display. This is like the really nice high-end LED. So it's a very accurate, it moves in minuscule increments. It's not like like on some of those old mods, you know. And that last segment, you can either change it between battery level or puff counter for how many times you've vaped, or actually the amount of time that you've vaped. So you could really accurately monitor what's going on with your intake, which would be very cool if you were trying to reduce or keep track or whatever you would be, you know, trying to monitor as you vape. Like if you were going to switch to a lower nic, you know, that could be really smart. Additionally, it's a locking device, and you can lock in just the resistance of the atomizer. Very cool. There is a stealth mode. Speaking of cool, this is like if you're going to be vaping and you don't want anyone to really necessarily know you're vaping, you can shut off because the OLED is very bright. Like let's say you were at a midnight mass at church and you were going to be vaping in church, you could go into stealth mode. You hit the button here and then you go over to the left, I believe it is. It's stealth mode. So what do I think? Well, available from Smoke and Mist for $79. I'm going to give this a thumbs up, but not a huge thumbs up. And the reason I got to say that is, well, the atomizer could put out a little bit more vapor. I'm spoiled. Aaron from Smoke and Mist, he turned me on to something called the Arctic Tank, and it's just a fantastic device. It's turned me from a tootie puffer into closer to a cloud chaser. Now, I don't drip all the time. I do a little bit. I hate dripping. I really do. I can't stand it. You know, it's not that I hate dripping culture, you guys, with your jester hats on and 420 shirts, you know, dude, I got the vaping donut juice waffle style, bro. I love you guys, you know, come on over, let's hang. But this device is a little bit closer to a flavor chaser that doesn't quite deliver on the flavor. I shouldn't have said that. It's good on the flavor. It really is. It just, I mean, here, I'll show you. We're at 540 Fahrenheit. Completely sealed off on the air intake. Half open. So, yeah, I mean, you tell me. Am I being picky? I don't know. If you were, you know, like an eye sticker with a Nautilus Mini, this would be a huge upgrade to you. But where I'm at, you know, with those Arctic tanks, they really spoiled me. Those things are great. So, you know, I'm probably kind of being a little bit of a weenie. Would I buy the replacement coils for this and keep going with this tank? Well, I don't know. I'm weighing it out mentally now to maybe get something like a sub-tank mini, and throw it on here. See, that's the thing. This is so ergonomic. It's such a great, beautiful little device. Do I want to ruin it by putting a massive 7 milliliter tank on it? Probably. So, thank you very much for joining me. Check out Smoke and Mist. They got some wonderful, very tasty e-liquid. Their e-liquid is just fantastic. Thank you very much to Aaron for sending these devices for review. I got some more vape stuff coming up, so stick around. Got some really cool hackish electronic stuff coming. More music stuff, so thanks for joining me, you guys. Peace.